Right, this thing should be on. Hello. So, for those who don't know me, well, good. The less you know of me, the better. I well, you can just call me the blogger or the vlogger. Either way, that's all you need to know of me. So, previously, I've done two videos here, two vlogs, two diaries of, well, the mysterious cases of the man in the blue box, the doctor. People that go missing believing to have encounters with him. But has anyone noticed that there are strange things going on in the world? So yeah, we've had many strange events and strange things on Earth that cannot be explained, like ghosts or, UFOs, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, the Roswell spaceship crash, etc. I could go on forever with this. But I want to talk about things that have happened in recent years and previous years. Yeah. And how things like this may have been lost to the media or lost on the web, or how things may have leaked or been found on Reddit. So I'm here to talk to you today about these strange things that are happening, like if anyone remembers such things. I have seen many stranger things go on, not just from the 70s, but beyond that. You see, as I've said already, I believe that there are organizations out there that create the illusion that man is alone. And with the advanced technology humans have made in the last century, with cameras and phones, there's only so many times they can say it's a hoax. So, yes, strange things are happening indeed. So, I'm going to talk about it now. So, who recalls? I'll start simple, where these things start to become a regular occurrence. March 2005. Window shop dummies came to life in London and started shooting people, killing them all. Well, not all of them, but there was one man who was killed in this incident, Clive Finch, who posted a lot of things on the internet about the Doctor and the blue box that is called the TARDIS. He was killed that night by one of the window shop dummies, autonic creatures, what have you. Then there was that frequency thing from the London Eye as well. Also, a few nights before, a clothes shop store blew up as well, with a blue box seen across the road from it. And then, of course, when these window shop dummies came to life, it was also around that time Rose Tyler went missing, as I've established already. I mean, the next day she got a phone call from her mother. Well, her mother received a phone call from her. But then she would never be seen or heard from again for a year. And of course, these window shop dummies, it's not the first time this has happened. 1970, a similar incident like this occurred. Window shop dummies came to life, and the photo that you're seeing now was taken moments before the photographer's death, because he was shot by these dummies. And of course, we've seen other odd things. A year later, in 2006, when Rose Tyler had been missing a year and then she mysteriously returned home, she claimed to have a strange man in leather. Could that be the Doctor? Also that day, a UFO had crashed into Big Ben and landed in the River Thames. And the hospital was evacuated so that they could, because they'd found a body believed to be from the ship. And again, 1941, in that same hospital, there were an epidemic of people stuck in gas masks calling out for their mummy, which was again bizarre. Still, Could have been a hoax. However, there was one old woman that claimed she had only one leg when she went to the hospital and it grew back. The chief of medicine, the doctor at that time, not the doctor I'm on about, Dr. Constantine, I think his name was, said she could have miscounted or something, I don't know. That was a strange thing in 1941. And like I said, this isn't just happening in the 21st century. The 21st century, of course, is when everything changes. And you've got to be ready. I think we are ready now. Still, there were a lot of bizarre things at that time. Back to the UFO in the Thames. A lot of strange things going on, like the Prime Minister's disappearance, random obese people going into Downing Street, and then a missile hitting it, blowing it up. Of course, it was rebuilt, and around then, Harriet Jones took on power as the Prime Minister. We'll get to more of her later, Harriet Jones. But yes, many strange things. Later on that year, there was an incident in Cardiff. This is the same year, 2006. There was an earthquake. Not only was there an earthquake, in the centre there was the blue box scene, taking some sort of energy from the sky. Now, I heard rumours that there's, well, I think I know exactly, that there is a rift built above the capital of Wales, Cardiff. A weak point in time and space where alien things come through or attract alien activity. Of course, I think there's a group out there which, again, we'll get to eventually. Torchwood. Yes, so many bizarre things going on. And that blue box, the TARDIS, was seen in sight as well when the earthquake occurred. What was going on there? Also, the mayor of Cardiff, the only survivor of the, well, her and Harriet Jones, survivors of the whole Downing Street exploding. Also, Rose Tyler, as I said, she went missing for a year, then came back with this strange man called the Doctor. Here's a photo that somebody posted on Reddit of them both there. Anyway, yeah. Christmas, for example, in the mid 2000s, that was not a safe place to be in London, because every year, without fail, there was always something alien going on. Like the spaceship over London, and half the people standing on the roof for some unknown reason. And instead of the Queen's speech, we had Harriet Jones calling out for the Doctor. This photo of her making this plea in the Queen's absence is the only thing that remains. The message that she made was lost to the media. But yeah, the spaceship later that day left. Everyone stopped behaving strangely and wondered why they were on the roof tops. Only half of the people of a certain blood group. But then laser beams shot up into the sky, believing to destroy this spaceship, and then it snowed later that day. But we all know it wasn't snow. It was space ash. Yeah. And of course, there were many groups of people the following year, such as I've already mentioned already, Linda, and the group disappearing, and the only one remaining is Elton Pope. As I've said already, he refused to give any interviews about it that day, or what happened. But he at one point had a fixation with the Doctor. And then, of course, there was the Battle of Canary Wharf. See, remember in that time where there were ghosts around? People believed they were seeing loved ones again. No one ever talks about it now, but they turned into these weird metal men, Cybermen, which look a lot similar to those from the 1968 invasion, which I'll get to shortly. But yeah, these Cybermen were sighted before. 1968, they were coming out of the sewers. Believed to be a hoax? I don't think so. Then, of course, there was another incident in 1985, again in the undergrounds of London. Also around that time, the blue box was seen in Totter's Lane, where this blue box turned into some other object like a pillar, and there was a strange man seen in a weird coat with missing girl Perry Brown. And of course, 1986 in the Antarctic, a weird spacecraft was seen landing there as well a year later. Alien activity, I think. Still, that's all that remains of it, a photo. Then, of course, there were other strange things like that happening that day with the ghosts, the Battle of Canary Wharf. So many people went missing and were killed that day. Missing girl Rose Tyler was on the list of the dead. Yet, for some bizarre reason, this would not be the last time Rose would be seen by people. Yeah. Who remembers Christmas of that year when a big space star came down and started zapping everything? And of course, there was orders from Mr. Saxon to destroy it, and they did. Then, of course, the following year, that Christmas, 2008, everyone left London, making the streets deserted on Christmas Eve that year. I mean, there were a few odd people, like a weird old man, an eccentric old man selling newspapers. But it seems the Queen refused to leave. But there was a strange news broadcast of something falling from the sky, like the doomed ship from 1912, the Titanic. But then it went back up into space. Bizarre. Yeah, very strange indeed. As I said, strange things. Yeah. But also, back to 2008, anyone remember when that hospital disappeared? Like there was a rain cloud, like you see in a cartoon, and then the rain went up and the hospital disappeared. And then when it came back later that day, people in the hospital said that they were on the moon and rhino like men came around and scanned them all looking for something or someone. And this wasn't the last time we saw these rhino men. In 2020, they were in a small historical town where they were seen as well, looking for a fugitive. Then again, a couple of years before, in 2009 I think it was, one was spotted in a police car. What are these rhino things? Are they intergalactic policemen? Many conspiracy theorists like myself have theorized this. But yeah, many weird and bizarre things. Even the newly elected Prime Minister of that year, Harold Saxon, introduced us to these creatures called the Toclophane. I remember when I was a young child, so long ago now, stories of the Toclophane. It was a made-up word for the bogeyman. Yeah, used to be an old wives' tale where I'm from. Be good or the Toclophane will come for you. Like I say, made-up word for the bogeyman. I mean, yeah, they were out of this time, but was Harold Saxon, because he went mad and disappeared, was he killed for knowing the truth or telling the truth, exposing the earth to the truth? Who knows? Who knows? Then, of course, there was weird stuff going on in 2009. People such as this new diet pill where everyone was losing weight like magic. But then there were these weird little cute fat creatures that were around London as well at that time, and then they all just went up into the sky on these spaceships that came. Also, someone claimed that they saw Rose Tyler well and alive that night. And like I say, Rose Tyler, she was seen again London, the 2012 Olympics. A lot of strange things happened there. I'll wrap this one up now. We're finishing with this one. So yeah, the 2012 Olympics. In a smaller state where the Olympic torch was going to run past, a lot of kids were disappearing, going missing. And as well, everyone in the stadium at the opening ceremony of the Olympics disappeared as well before magically reappearing, claiming that they were in the drawings of a girl named Chloe Webber. Now, her and her mother have denied everything. And of course, there was the athlete that collapsed. And then some strange guy in a long trench coat took the torch and ran all the way, lighting the Olympic flame. Was this man another doctor? Because he does resemble that of John Smith, an English teacher from 1913, and so on and so forth. But one of the highway maintenance people working for the council called Kell, he saw Rose Tyler as he reported it to the council for her damaging some street pavement that he smoothed out. But when he reported it to council, he then noticed that a couple of years prior she was on the list of the dead on the Barlow Canary Wharf. How can that be so? Yeah, like I say, Rose Tyler believed to be dead, yet she was there, alive. Was she a companion of the Doctor? I think so. I better leave it there now. I think I've said enough today. I'll pick this up again at some point.